Good morning, students. My name is Teacher John, and today we are going to look on the topic named as book analysis. And our major focus today will be the book Hawa, the Bus Driver, written by Richard S. Mabara. The setting of the book is in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and the publisher is Ben and Company Limited. Starting with the book analysis, we are going to look on the plot. And when we are talking the plot is all the arrangement of the book. And the book, Hawa the Bus Driver, is arranged in chapters. That is arranged from chapter 1 up to chapter 6. But also, we are going to look on the summaries of chapters. And the chapter 1 talks about the physical appearance of Hawa, that Hawa is strong, tall, and tough, but also she weighs 82 kgs. So the first chapter describes Hawa Ibrahim, how she is, how she looks like. That is the first chapter. The second chapter talks about the day routine of Hawa, that when she wakes up, what does she do when she wakes up, and the activities she does at home. And we are told that Hawa Ibrahim is a kind person at home, hardworking. She cooperates with her neighbor, Chausiku, prating man vitumbua, as well as doing other homework. The third chapter talks about the Hawa and the drunkard, and the author shows us how the drunkard attacks Hawa and forces her to move out of the car, claiming that women cannot drive a car. So Hawa refuses to come out of the car and tells the drunk man to go away. But the drunkard continues to force Hawa to move out of the car. At the end of the time, Hawa defeats the drunkard and takes him to the police station. Now, the fourth chapter talks about Hawa and the thieves. We see that Hawa is also challenged by the thieves who comes with the pistol and enters in the car and forces Hawa to drive the car quickly towards Mbezi. Hawa obeys at the first time when it drives the car to Mbezi. But when she goes on, she still thinks on how she can defeat the thieves and move out from the danger. Now, the author tells us that there was a man who was wearing an overall who attacks the thief and forces him out of the car, but the thief is strong, and finally the thief is caught, and Hawa changes the direction and drives toward the Mbezi police station. So at the end, the thieves are taken to the police station. And when the people around that police station saw Hawa, they started singing that Hawa the Heroess, and that was his or her nickname, which was given by the people. And now the fifth chapter is talking about the accident that Hawa witnesses an accident which clashes a little boy, a primary school pupil, who was probably going to school. So the boy is clashed by a car which is written changu ni changu, chako chukua kwingine. So that was the name of the car. And Hawa now comes out of her bus, and helps that very students. But when she goes there, the passengers from her car starts lamenting and complaining that Hawa should leave that boy because that was not her business. Hawa tells the passengers that assume he was your children. How could you? Could you just leave him alone, die in the road? Then the passengers keeps quiet, and Hawa continues helping the boy and we are told that Hawa takes the boy to the hospital. Now, the last chapter, or the 6th chapter, is talking about Sulemani, who becomes jealous because Hawa becomes famous in the city. And we are told that when Sulemani sees this, he starts thinking that how can this happen, that a woman or my wife is more famous than I am, so I have to stop her from the work. And this is accelerated by some of the Suleman's friends, who also tells him that it's not good for a home wife to become famous than a husband. So Suleman takes these things very seriously and stops Hawa from driving. Hawa resigns from the work unwillingly, but because she had been told by her husband, so she had to stop working. But we are told at the end of the time there was a wise man called him Athman, who comes to Mabala and tells him that you should not stop your wife from driving, because also women can do anything. So before Hawa presents a resignation letter, the friends convinces Sulemani to let Hawa continue from work, and Sulemani is convinced by Hawa's friend, who were drivers, and allows Hawa to continue with her work. And we are told at the end of the time, Sulemani and Hawa continues to live a happier life. So that was the summary of the chapters. So now, when you're told, what is the book all about? What is the book all about? So the book is about Hawa, Ibrahim, a strong, determined, hardworking woman who lives in the suburb of Manzese in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Her work is driving. So we are told that he runs the family by that work of driving. So the book is centered at Hawa, who was a bus driver. Now, let us see some of the characters from the book. We have the first one, the main character, who is Hawa Ibrahim. We have Sulemani, that is Hawa's husband. But also we have Hassan and Saada. These are Sulemani and Hawa's children. But we have the Othman, who was Hawa's friend and who convinced Mabara to let Hawa continue with the job. But we have Chausiku. This was the neighbor of Hawa. But you have also George, who was the primary school teacher. But also we have the drunkard, who tries to tell us that Hawa or women can't drive cars. That is why he attacked Hawa and tells her that she should come out of the bus and let the men drive. But we have the thieves. These are the ones who attacked Hawa and directs a pistol to her, commanding her to drive the car quickly towards base. So these are some of the characters from the book. Now on the next lesson we shall see the themes, lessons, but also the key teachings of the book. Thank you, and continue watching my channel.